What's happening, my Jack family? Coach Scott here, jackedafter40.com. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing the best calf workout to build bigger calves for men over 40. And if you ask just about any physique coach out there, what's the secret to building bigger calves, they're going to tell you high frequency training. So this is a high frequency calf training workout plan where you're going to be working your calves 5 days a week. And when you're working your calves with high frequency, it's important to train them with lower volume each workout. But each of those workouts, you need to crank up your effort. We're going to do so by incorporating some intensity techniques. We're going to be doing some partial reps, some pause reps, some drop sets, some extended rest pause sets, and some loaded stretch sets. It's going to be an absolutely blast building these calves. We're gonna have fun in the process and experience a burn like you've never had before. Each of the workouts we're gonna be performing a superset, one exercise that works the calf muscle, as well as an exercise that works the antagonistic muscle to the calves, which is the tibialis anterior. Mountain Dog John Meadows is a huge proponent of working the tibialis anterior muscle to build bigger calves, and for the past 16 years, I was begging and pleading my gym to invest in a tibialis anterior machine. They just wouldn't go for it. So when I joined this new gym, I was stoked to see that they had one at their facility. So we're going to incorporate that into this training program along with bodyweight exercises to work the tibialis anterior and resistance band exercise to work the tibialis anterior in addition to working your calf muscles. And if you find that you're exhausted at the end of your workouts and you can't dedicate the strength, energy, or focus to building your calves doing these calf workouts, I recommend that you prioritize them and do these calf workouts at the beginning of your training session on non-leg workout days. If you enjoyed this video and the workout, please hit that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that alert button so you're notified each time I upload a video. More than anything, I want to hear from you down in the comment section below. Share your thoughts, share your insights, share your feedback and experiences with building bigger calves after 40. For the first workout, the superset begins with a resistance band dorsiflexion. I was fortunate enough to have a pole right behind this leg press unit, so I could wrap the resistance band around that pole and just sit right in the leg press unit. You can also just tie the resistance band to the leg press machine and sit on the floor or sit on the bench, same thing. You can play around with having your feet together, apart a little bit, kind of bringing the toes outwards, feet outwards, at the top range of the motion there. Bottom line, you're just trying to get an intense burn and do as many reps as you possibly can, even some partial reps at the end. It doesn't take too long. I'm looking at 15, 20, maybe 25 reps at the very most. Then you're gonna bust into the calf press here. Again, working in some higher reps, like say 12 to 15 reps. You wanna work through that full range of motion. Really important to get a full stretch in the bottom and a full contraction at the top. So full stretch and embrace that stretch. I don't want you bouncing out of the bottom range of the movement here. So a brief little pause, contract the calves, engage that calf muscle, and then press. Also important to keep the legs straight here. So keep those knees pretty much locked. You don't want to be bending them. You want to really make sure that you're working the gastrocnemius and not getting too much soleus involvement. Soleus is the muscle underneath the gastrocnemius. And at the top range of the motion, see, I'm pushing as far as I can with my toes, and then at the very end I try to drive my shins upwards, and here we're finishing with partial reps at the end. 3 sets, just crushing each and every set here, giving it absolutely everything you got. It's a burn like you have never experienced before. All the effort that you got in you, give to this 3 sets. Workout number 2, the superset begins with bodyweight dorsiflexion here. So you can stand with your heels at the edge of a platform like I'm on here, a box, a bench, any kind of platform where you're able to point your toes down there so you can work in a full range of motion, really getting a great stretch in the tibialis anterior and making sure that you are getting a great contraction as well. Of course, you're gonna need something to balance yourself. You can kind of turn around backwards on a calf press, a standing calf press, and that will work fantastic as well. I'm just kind of leaning up against the wall here. So get a full stretch in the bottom and a brief pause at the top where you're contracting the tibialis anterior, really getting a great mind muscle connection there and really driving that blood to these muscles, really getting a great pump, a great burning sensation in that tibialis anterior muscle. Next exercise is a standing calf raise. Again, aiming anywhere in that 8 to kind of 15 rep range, 8 to 12 rep range works great here as well. And the third set, we're gonna perform a triple drop set. So at this point, point, I'm onto my third set, so I've already done 2 sets, 2 supersets back and forth between these 2 exercises. This is my third set, and just for this exercise, there's not going to be any drop set with a body weight, tibialis anterior exercise there, dorsiflexion, but you can do the triple drop set on the standing calf raise here. So once again, with this movement, getting a great stretch in the bottom, so working through that full range of motion, a brief little pause in the bottom. You don't want to be bouncing up and down. So I'm finishing with a great little partial rep here. So I'm giving this set everything that I've got. And now it's I think I got like a quadruple drop. So basically go up the stack if you want. The whole goal here is to burn your freaking calves out. So it's low volume each workout, but you are going to give the absolute best effort to each and every set. So there is no leaving reps in the tank with any of these exercises, any of these sets. Everything is to momentary muscular failure, trying to push beyond momentary muscular failure as we are on the third set here. You're not going to want to do a drop set for every set. It's just going to take you too long to recover. So save the drop set for the very best set, the very last set here, and giving your very best effort. Still, the burning sensation is through the charts here, and that's one of the downfalls to what holds a lot of men over 40 back from building bigger calves is the amount of effort that they give to their calf training. They feel that burning sensation and they stop when you really need to find ways to use some mind over matter here, work through that burning sensation and continue to push through it. Drop sets is a fantastic way to do so. As I was mentioning before, working through that full range of motion, so making sure that you're getting that great stretch in the bottom, a brief pause in the bottom, contracting the calves, engaging those calf muscles before driving up. Try to get as high as you can on your toes and then try to drive your ankles forward towards the walls there to really maximize that contraction. Workout number 3, the first exercise in the superset is the tibialis anterior machine. If you don't have one of these machines in your gym, you can just use the resistance band or your body weight dorsiflexion there. Here, if you have the machine, you're gonna work 1 foot at a time through the full range of motion, so getting a great stretch at the bottom, really making sure that you are engaging the tibialis anterior before you raise that weight up. Don't just thrust it up and down. Don't just use momentum. That's a common mistake I see with this. I see people loading up tons of weight on this machine when really you don't need much weight at all. Work a great burn there, great pump, and then you're gonna move on to the seated calf raise. Here you're gonna hold the stretch in the bottom as well as the contraction at the top. So really enhancing that mind-muscle connection overall, taking the momentum out of this calf exercise. That's another big mistake that I see a lot of men over 40 make when it comes to building bigger calves, is that they're bouncing through the movements. It's okay maybe when you're doing the partial reps at the end to go at a quicker pace there and really burn them out. But for most of your reps, you're really going to want to be using controlled movement and take momentum out of it. The calves, especially like the Achilles tendon there, it's elastic. Like it can hold a lot of that elastic energy in there, and it's the Achilles tendon that can take the brunt of the load and absorb a lot of that energy instead of the calf muscle. So you really want to make sure that you are controlling these movements, and doing a movement like this where you are doing pause reps, pausing at the bottom, pausing in the contraction, can really enhance that mind-muscle connection with your calves, and even becoming aware of other muscles that can help you, that you compensate with. It's amazing how you can get your hip flexors involved in here, how your thighs tense up, and a lot of other muscle groups can help assist you in this movement. So as soon as you finish, you get to that point where you can barely do a full rep at the end. Hold that contraction for, you're looking at about 5 seconds for each of these stretch and the contraction, and then you're going to be finishing off with some partial reps at the end where you use a bit of momentum there, just bouncing out, just burning those muscles out as much as you possibly can. So here on my last rep, I was barely able to hold that. I couldn't get that full range of motion. So I'm like, all right, it's time to just grind it out and crank out some partials. With workout number 4, we're back in the calf press, and again, beginning with the resistance band dorsiflexion. Again, get playful with this movement. You can have your feet apart, you can bring your feet together, you can play with the toes going outwards. Experiment with it and just play around to see what kind of movement, what kind of positioning gives you the greatest burn in the tibialis anterior muscle. Work through that full range of motion. Get a great stretch, really pointing those toes outwards, and then contract as much as you possibly can. Really making sure you're driving an incredible amount of fresh blood to that tibialis anterior muscle. Second exercise is the calf press, and here we're going to be holding a loaded stretch at the end. So going for the 8 to 12 repetitions and then holding the stretch at the end for as long as you can. 3 sets here. So the first 2 sets, holding that stretch between sets, you can probably do like 30 seconds and it's not that bad. There's not too much of an intense burn at the end. You want to really, push the pain threshold here. Once again, like I said, that is the problem. That's what holds most men over 40 back from building bigger calves, is they don't push through that pain barrier. Calves, man, the burn is intense. It's ridiculous. It's amazing when you use mind over matter how much you can overcome that burning sensation and work beyond it, push beyond it. So in the beginning here, the calves are, the holding the stretch isn't going to be too bad. It's not going to be too difficult. You don't want to be relaxing here. You still want to feel some tension in those calf muscles. So the legs are locked, the legs are straight. That's going to create an even bigger burn than ever. So if you kind of drive those knees down there, you're going to feel that stretch in the calves even more so. And then what we're doing here is, this is the 3rd set. We're doing a triple drop set. Cameraman, I forgot to tell, I'm just stripping 1 plate off a side each time. So I think I had 45s on each side and then 2 25s. I think I had 3 25s on one of the sides. He thought I was stripping 25 off each side. I just want to strip the plate off one side at a time here. So doing as many reps as I can. This is the 3rd set. This is not something you're going to do your first 2 sets. It's the 3rd set is a drop set here. Triple drop set. You can do quadruple drop set if you want. This is where it starts to get ridiculous. So that first set, it's like, yeah, I could hold it for 30 seconds, maybe even a little bit longer. It's not too bad. Here, trying to hold it to 30 seconds is excruciating. It is an intense burn, but once again, like, you're gonna feel that burning sensation almost immediately. Work through it, breathe. I really want you to breathe through that stretch. So the more you can relax, the more you can kind of bring yourself to your happy place. You're on a beach somewhere, nice, deep, relaxing breaths, and take yourself to some other place other than where you're at right there, because you're gonna wanna quit right away. That burning sensation is almost unbearable immediately, but you want to try to hold it as long as you can. When I really want to push myself here, I'll have the workout partner with a stopwatch and making sure that I hold it for at least 30 seconds for each set, like each of these drops there. So once again, with the first 8 to 12 repetitions, working to that full range of motion, full stretch in the bottom, full contraction, and the same thing here with these drop sets where, the burning sensation right away, but you still want to make sure you're working in that full range of motion. As soon as it fails, hold that stretch for as long as you can. And that stretch is incredible. So many benefits to performing loaded stretch movements. I'm going to include a link down below as well as up above to my loaded stretch video where I talk about those benefits, and one of those being increased growth hormone. So it's something that's very important to us men over 40. Boosting our testosterone, boosting our growth hormone. This is definitely one of those movements that really help it. It's a great set extending technique. It's also great for your tendons, for your tendon tissue there, for repairing it and growing it. They actually show that loaded stretching can help strengthen and build the tendons in your joints. So that's incredibly important for us men over 40. And here with workout number 5, beginning the superset with the tibialis anterior machine. Once again, if you don't have this, you can do the bodyweight dorsiflexion or the resistance band dorsiflexion. Work through the full range of motion, good stretch in the bottom, controlling the movement, good squeeze, good contraction at the top. It's really great to have that extra resistance. The burning sensation is going to kick in a lot sooner, and it's just great to to challenge those muscles in a different way rather than just body weight high repetitions. This will reduce the amount of repetitions that you can perform and just strengthen them up. So drive that great nutrient-rich blood to the tibialis anterior muscle, and then you're gonna move on over to the standing calf raise. Trying to keep those knees locked so your legs are pretty straight here. Full stretch in the bottom, little brief pause, so no bouncing out of the bottom. Get up on your toes as high as you can, and once you're up as high as you can on your toes, try to drive those shins, the ankles forward to really intensify that contraction with your calf muscles here. The only set extending technique that we're gonna do here, the intensifier technique, is just doing some partial reps at the end. So when you get to that point of momentary muscular failure where your form starts to break a bit, just shorten that range of motion and go a little bit quicker. So really burn them out, give it everything that you got here. So that's 5 intense calf workouts that are gonna force your calves to grow. I've just completed my first week on this. I am super stoked to see how my calves grow in the upcoming months. So I just finished the fat loss phase. I've been in a maintenance phase, kind of muscle building phase for the past 2 weeks, and I got that 3D body scan. So I know the measurements of my calves. I'm looking forward to going back in a few months to see what kind of progress I've made with my calves, as well as like the 6-month mark. I mean, over 40, it's tough enough to build muscle, let alone with these stubborn calves. Genetics is not on my side with my calves, but I'm not going to use this as an excuse at all. I'm going to do everything that I can to get these calves to grow, and I hope you will too. Next, I recommend you watch the best full body workout for men over 40. Download your free guide, Jacked After 40. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel and hit that alert button so you're notified each time I upload a video. Drop a comment, share your thoughts, share your insights, share your feedback, and have an absolutely amazing day. I'll catch you in the next video.